Welcome again. Here we are with the Mavic Air 2. A few things to discuss I found out searching around the internet. We're going to talk about the ability to film in 4K 60 frames per second. It's a misnomer. It's a misleading advertising by DJI because you can't do it in anything but Codec H265. A lot of computers can't handle H265 and they revert to the old version of H264. My Windows 10 computer can't handle H265. The odd thing is, the free video editing software, I think it's VSDC or something, or VDCS or VSDC, whatever, it can handle it, but all the other ones, Movavi or Power Director, they can't handle H265. But anyway, and my computer can't even read it, so I got to go H264. And in H264, you cannot film in 4K 60 frames per second, and I'll show you. Here we go. So we're going to set it at 4K at 60 frames per second. Then we're going to go into here, the settings, and you will see in the camera H265. That's it. And I'm in normal mode or sport or whatever. So I can't film in 264. I can't see this video if I take it. Now, if I go back and I go to 50 frames per second, I'll hit it, there we go. 265 also. But if I go to 48 frames per second, H265. If I go to 30 frames per second, here we go. There we go, H264. So if we go 2K at 30 frames per second, we can go 264. If we go to 48 frames, we can go 264 in 2K. So we can do 2K at 48 frames per second. 50 frames per second, we can go 264. So at 2K you can do 50 frames per second, but you can't do 60 frames per second. Oh yes, you can. There you go. You can go 2K at 60 frames per second, but you can't go 4K. Back to 4K, 60 frames per second. $265. Okay. Thankfully, I always use 1080p at 60 or 30. Doesn't matter. So I use 30. That's my standard. And we can easily play that in H264. Now let's just take it up for a second. I'm not going to run any videos. There's no point. So down on them with the sticks to start them.
Take off.
And we'll take off.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the
just
map.
look at me for a minute here. I'll have it hover there. And down. There we are. Okay. Now, I had a few headaches this week. You see the truck there? That's another $600 fix. I had to get some calipers done and an ignition coil. I just had a back tooth taken out in this COVID thing, so we've been down for a couple of weeks here. But anyway, it's hovering there. We're fine. But I just want to show you. I'll come closer. We'll bring that down a bit. And I'm using, come on down, there we go. Okay, I'm using the big truck. You see the holder I'm using now? And the cable. It's a 12-inch cable, and it goes from lightning, pardon me, it goes from USB-C to micro USB. Go up a bit. There we go. And it works very well. Well, it's that beeping thing. So if I turn this off, just a minute. Turn the safety off, that off. No, doesn't make any difference, does it? Still beeps. Oh well, we'll turn it back on again. You're right, Marcus. Doesn't make any difference. So let's just go up a little higher. Okay, I'm pointing it down a bit. There we go, no more beeping. So I've got this 12-inch cable, and I'll put that in the description below. And also this Sky Read, which works very well. It's a little heavy, but if I put my fingers behind the controller like that, it balances out pretty good. The two that I made are very good, very cheap, and they work very well. But on this tablet, and it is the cheap Tech Class P90 Pro, 3 gigabytes of RAM, that some people have said is a bunch of garbage, but I've had it for 2 years now, and it operates all my stuff great. So you don't always have to spend a lot of money to get some good stuff sometimes. Okay, so with this, we've proven that all the advertising for 4K 60 frames per second, yeah, it does if you have the horsepower in your computer to run it. If it's a totally brand new computer or a brand new camera, they'll run H265. But for majority of people, I would assume they're all still going to be using H264. So you cannot film 4K 60 frames per second. You can't do it. And that's all I wanted to show today. So we've got that. We're doing good. I like the holder now. It was a little too heavy for the Mavic Mini, but it works well here. This 12-inch cable works great. I can use it on either side. I can use it for the phone. I can use this holder for the phone or the tablet. It works great. Lots of room with the fingers. I can move it up and down. I can see it clearly. So let's just go, let's put it into tripod mode. Yeah, it's a lot slower. Okay, we'll go up a bit. Tripod mode's really nice. And I gotta look at my gutters pretty soon too. There's some leaves in there, I can tell. I got them all out before the first snow, but I've got to clean them out again. So I'll bring up that camera a bit. It's a beautiful day. Got all the grass cut. It's wonderful. Yeah, it works great. I can still hear the beeping. Let's turn it so, there we go. Once you turn it so that the rear-facing sensors aren't facing anything, you don't get the beeping. So there you go. That's all I wanted to show today. So we're just going to go up. And sometimes the lag is a little bit. There's another truck. We live in the country, but there's a gravel pit a mile down the road, so that's the problem there. The other issue with this I wanted to check out was if it makes any difference. I'm going to go into my settings. And I'm going to go into my transmission and see where it says smooth. I'm going to go to HD and see if there's any difference. And you should notice right away, but maybe there isn't any difference. Yeah, there is. It's a lot more laggy, isn't it? Let's go back. Go into smooth. And turn it the other way again. Well, maybe the same. Go back again. HD. It's supposed to be HD, it's supposed to be transmission at 1080p, and the smooth is supposed to be 720, but I haven't confirmed that yet. So bring that camera down. There we are down there. And we'll just do some turnarounds here. It's a little smoother, but on the transmission it's not really all that smooth. I'm not really concerned about that too much. I just want to know that I have a connection. And we lost connection. No, we didn't. What did we do? I guess we touched something I shouldn't have touched. Yeah, okay. So there we go. The only other thing is HD and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know if HD changes on the transmission or not, or HDR. Let's see what happens when we switch it to HDR. Oh. HDR. Does it switch up the way it looks? It's still in tripod mode. It's just above me floating around there. And what happens when we go up? So we're going at 20 meters, so let's go up to 50 or so and see what happens. I think it's facing south. It's in tripod mode, so it takes forever to get up there, but anyway. Yeah, it's facing south. We're up to 50 meters there. So you can look around. It's a little overcast today, but it's in HDR, so it's a little bit better. So let's go back to normal. See if it makes a difference. There we go. Normal. And then we'll go to HDR. We'll go back to normal. There we go. Well, I'm just going to bring it down, and I'm going to do a hand catch. It comes down a lot faster than it goes up. It's coming down about 1 meter per second. But it does pretty good. I'm actually liking this controller more now, and I actually do like this Skyreet tablet holder, and it says it's for Mavic, so I'll give you a close-up shot when it comes down if I don't hear all the beeping. There we go, coming down. There we go. Come forward a bit, and we'll just turn it around. Okay, see the look. There we go. And if I turn it, beep, beep, beep. That way, no. Well, lots of beeps. Don't know. But it says on the Skyreet right there, Mavic. For Mavic. So that's it. We're just going to turn it around, and we're going to hand catch it. And just bring the left throttle stick down all the way. Just lower it a bit so I can get my hand under it. and stick down. There you go. Pretty good. Another thing I like about this controller is when you lay it flat on a table or this box, it lays flat. It's like it's got feet, so it's very sturdy. That's all I wanted to say today. Hope you enjoyed it, you got something out of it, and we'll see you in the next one.